Hey, what's good guys? It's Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we are back here at Lifetime in Folsom, California, and we got the performance review on these bad boys right here. Woo, I caught that. This, my friends, is the Air Jordan 34 SE. Now before we get started, I got a couple of quick shout outs. The first one is to our good friends over at Lifetime over here in Folsom, California. That's where I hoop at every Thursday from 5 to 7. If you wanted to come out here, click the link in the description box below to check out how you can join. It's got the greatest hoops league of all time. Unless you're a professional athlete, then obviously that's awesome because you get paid to play. But if you want to pay to play, Ultimate Hoops is a spot to go. They got all of the stuff that you need, including 3-point lines from the NBA range, all the refs you could ever want. Do people want refs? I don't think so. Right? It depends. It depends. They also keep track of all of your stats. So if you were interested in joining, like I said before, we have a link in the description box below where you can head over to their website and check it all out. Also, one quick shout out to our good friend over at Random Objects because they sent this hoodie over and it's a beast. I'm sweating bullets right now because I warmed up in this thing. It is heavy duty. It fits true to size. And again, if you were interested in this, there's another link in there. He's got all kinds of awesome stuff, not just this guy. And we do have a promo code that you'll see somewhere over here on the screen. And with that being said, let's go ahead, get right into it. Now, per usual, we're starting off with the outsole right here. And just like the regular Air Jordan 34, we've got full-length herringbone in a radial or fan pattern, what I like to call the Air Jordan 12, kind of like wave and all that stuff like it is on the upper. And even though these are clear outsoles, which is different than the pair that I played in that was the originals, those were solid rubber, I've gotten the same exact traction out of these that I did those. And it's just super reliable, very consistent. I love this right here. If you're looking for a go-to shoe based on traction alone, this is it. Now, before we go back over to traction, we're gonna talk about fit for just a second. I'm gonna get my Mr. Rogers on. So if you were not already up on these guys right here, this is the brand new version, the 2020 edition of the Air Jordan 5 Retro Fire Red. I don't know why they call them Fire Reds. It's not the real Fire Reds, but it's the silver tongue ones. These guys are fire. If you wanna check out the review, check it out right over here. And with that, we're gonna move on to the actual shoe. So these guys right here, they fit true to size, just like the originals. When I was in the comment section of our performance review on these bad boys right here, a lot of people had varying opinions. Some said go true to size, some said up half a size, some said down half a size. So when that's the case, go in store and try them on if possible. These were, I believe, only available in Chicago and like online. So hopefully they release more colors and stuff. But if you're shopping online, maybe on like StockX or GOAT or something like that, I went true to size and I feel like that's the perfect fit for me. So what I loved about these was pretty much everything. In case you guys didn't know, this was my top performance pick personally from last year, 2019. And these guys were just the ultimate in lightweight performance. The only thing that I felt was the downside to it was the ankle area. So when you got it laced up tight like this right here, even while you were running around, like sometimes that material will buckle. It's super thin, it's just a little bit of fuse and some screen mesh. So I felt like in certain instances and on certain movements, that buckling, I was able to stay in place, but it was just something that I would feel in my mind. Luckily, they have that beefy heel counter right here, so that keeps you on the footbed. It didn't cause any ankle issues, but that was the one thing that I really didn't like about the overall fit about these, is just that this area sometimes would bow and flex in ways that I wasn't really liking it or anticipating while playing. So these guys inside have the same exact lacing structure as the original, so I just lace them up exactly the way that I would have the other guys. However, where these guys are really beefy and awesome is that they put on all the layers the original 34 was missing. So you got all these overlays, both in the toe, at the midfoot, at the rear, all of that stuff. So this is more traditional as far as construction goes. So while the originals were more like a sports car, this is more like a town car or a touring car. And on top of that, they feel ultra luxurious. And then when you zip these guys up, you're just locked in. It just really like hones everything in. Glove-like fit. I think that this is awesome. One of the pluses to these as well is that these are locked when they're in the down position. I'm talking about the zipper here. So when they're open, you can zip it up and down however you need. And then as soon as they're pulled down like that, you can't open it back up. So it's got great lockdown despite having the dual zipper setup. So these guys, again, true to size, that's what I'd recommend. And I just really love these things, man. These are epic. Now, before we talk about everything else, I do want to go back to traction just for a second. So like I was saying before, that herringbone is in that radial pattern. So what it's going to allow you to do is get linear coverage, just great linear coverage. And then if you have lateral, lateral needs, you're gonna have that lateral stability and coverage as well. So if you play up and down the court like a LeBron James, you should be good. But if you're shifty like a Kyrie, or you have a mean step back like a Kemba, you're gonna be pretty much good to go. You're gonna be always on guard, on your toes. Now the cushion setup on these is identical to the original Air Jordan 34. And like I said, with that performance review, this setup right here is just one of my all-time faves as far as Zoom Air is concerned. This is the zoomiest Zoom of all Zooms, in case you guys forgot. So what we actually have here is a super lightweight setup. This guy right there is a P-Bax chassis, so it's allowing the entire midsole to basically be hollowed out. So you're reducing a lot of weight there without losing any strength or reinforcement, because again, this is a P-Bax, it's like a TPU or a plastic. And then you have a Phylon carrier inside the heel right there. You got a large volume hex zoom unit. And for some reason I could feel it on these guys just a little bit more than the originals. I don't know if that's just in my head, or maybe this pair is a little bit more broken in, which I doubt, because I almost trashed my other pair because they're so awesome. But I could just feel the Zoom Air in the rear in these, and it's very apparent when I'm running and going to stop and all that stuff, because that rounded heel right there is perfect. Kind of roll into your stops and then pop right into your shot right afterwards. And then the forefoot Zoom Air encompasses the entire forefoot section of the shoe. You can kind of see it poking through, and that guy right there is pretty much an unlocked setup. So there's a cord out section of the foam, which is directly underneath your foot. So you don't have that sinking in feeling. Instead, you have a popping feeling. So it feels like it's propelling you underneath your feet. And I just really like it because it allows Zoom Air to be Zoom Air. You can pretty much be as shifty as you want. You're not losing any court feel and all that stuff, but you're also not losing any impact protection. This is exactly the way that I think Zoom Air should be all the time. It doesn't always have to be implemented like this, but as long as it feels like this, it gives you these properties, that's what's most important. So the materials on these guys I think are great just because there's more of them. There are also a lot of synthetics on this shoe, just like the original version, a lot of mesh. This section right here is, and then underneath there's like a performance woven. But what I like is that there's just a lot more layering, so you don't have that other setup where they had that kind of like independent heel counter, which I love. But this guy right here just feels more like a normal shoe. Got a lot of synthetics on the forefoot. And then what I really like is that they added genuine leather right here on the toe and the heel just to give it a premium touch. And this little stripe right there just feels super fast, even if you're not. So you look awesome right there on the court. And I love how this setup has broken in each and every time that I wear them. The first night, a little bit stiff and all that stuff, but every night since it's just gotten better and better. So if you're looking for something that's ultra lightweight, but maybe not as durable, go with the original 34. But if you're looking for something that is just as good, a little bit more security, a little bit more support within the materials themselves, and a lot more lockdown, then this is where it's at right here. Now the support on these guys is very similar to the original. One of the things that I noticed right away was, again, the lockdown. The lockdown is really giving you a lot more support from the upper and fit, but otherwise the basics of the shoe are still intact. You got that really nice wide forefoot and everything, so it's got a nice stable platform. You got the TPU or a P-Bax chassis right there. The Eclipse plate is what they call it. You got an internal heel counter and all of that stuff. So pretty much everything that was on the last one's in here with a little bit more. So I would say the support's just a little bit better, mostly from the lockdown, but not from pieces that are in place, because the pieces are essentially the same. Now that pretty much takes care of the performance review on the Air Jordan 34 SE. I think that it's just as much of a beast as the last model. If anything, just a little bit more. Again, that fit, that lockdown is greater on these than it was on the original. Again, shout out to Lifetime for allowing us to come in here and do our thing. If you were interested in checking out their gym, click the link in the description box below. Also, Random Objects, if you're interested in any of their awesome apparel, there's going to be a secondary link. We also have more information on the shoe over at WearTesters.com, and includes their price, their weight, their scores. And with that being said, I hope that I hit this. I'm just kind of nervous on the first try. That's not in right there, man. That's not in. We're gonna keep that cut though, okay? Clearly I didn't make it on the first try, but I'm gonna try to do it 50%. Woo! That's what's up right there. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support, and until next time, guys, have a good one. As you know that I don't think I've gotten more compliments of a shoe's aesthetics on a basketball court than I have with these guys. Everybody that sees these are like, yo, those are some fresh J's.
In the gym?
In the gym. And these guys don't even like wear Jordans. I just thought it was super weird because I never got that with these.
Well, so that's my thing.
What thing?
Is why didn't Jordan Brand drop these as the 34 and this says like the 34 light?
Good question. I will refer to your non-definitive statement, an opinion, not a fact.
Do it like this.
Me or you?
You do.
I do?
Yeah, you gotta say it right.
No, you're gonna say it. What do you always say about Jordan Brand?
Jordan Brand does what Jordan Brand wants.
What I do know is that they've been tinkering with the SE name. What was it? The 33 SEs were more of a low. For those of you guys that don't know, SE is supposed to mean special edition. I don't know really if that's like the direct context that they're trying to implement the SE on, like on these. Like I don't know if these or the 33 low is the special edition of the shoe or whatever. I just know that that's what they've done. They've done it periodically. They haven't done it in a long time. These remind me of a shoe that they dropped a while back when they did the 21s. They did a 21 PE, and those had kind of a similar look where the lacing was kind of like under here and all that stuff. And so these just remind me of that kind of that era. But what brands typically do though, and this is not just a Jordan brand thing, okay, because Adidas does this and Nike and all that stuff, is that they do the refresh line. They need a mid-season refresher on the product.
But I think they could have totally done that. Like this could have been what dropped for the beginning of the season.
I do agree.
Hey, spring and summer's coming. Here's a lighter version of it to take outdoors, calm your feet down.
That is true, and I can't remember which video it was.
We only did one of these.
Okay, sorry, it's because we filmed the performance review a few times.
We had some
technical audio issues, but we fixed all that. With these, I was like initially being like, you know, this could have been just this. Right?
Yeah.
It just could have been. And like now what you're saying, why wasn't this, where it's like the special edition, super lightweight, blah, blah, blah. Yo, I picked the wrong base layer underwear. I picked the little short ones, and I'm like, and I'm chafing my fucking nutsack right now, dude. It's like on fire. And it is just from chafing, trust me.